Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. I have the Deviant Moon Tarot on the tarot table today. We're looking at what, in my opinion, is a rather deviant relationship at this point. Harry, now a spare in his own marriage, and that's according to the Daily Mail. And they're talking about the moment that Harry and Meghan arrived at this Times 100 event in New York, in, of course, the vast motorcade again. Nobody there to welcome them, no crowd, but of course endless bodyguards and police and all the rest of it. Harry, gentleman that he was brought up to be, got out and went around to help Meghan out of the car, held out his hand, and she swatted it away and went in for a full body hug with some woman who turned out to be their assistant, who was the only person there to greet them. And then Meghan, without a glance even at Harry, strode inside in her giant Ralph Lauren pantaloon. They can only be described as pantaloon. Left Harry looking sort of sheepish, bewildered, sad, even tearful. Some people speculate that he was looking tearful. He certainly looked like he'd rather be anywhere but there with her, and she certainly looked like she didn't need him there. No more of that clutching and cooing and back patting and the double-handed claw and all that stuff. It was all about her. The interview was for her. She was the Time 100 person, not Harry. Why he was even there, we don't know, although they've popped up this morning doing one of those online safety things again. I suppose to make it worth his while. But what's going on? It looked a bit like a discard moment for our favourite narcissist, allegedly, that Harry has been used up, chewed up and spat out, basically, on a New York sidewalk by Meghan Markle. Got what she needed from him, and now who needs him anymore? That was the vibe. And instead of the newspaper headlines being about her silly 15-minute interview about how happy she is and how Archie's front tooth is loose, what a coincidence, it's all about how Harry is now the spare in his own marriage, which must be rather galling for him, given all he has given up in his life to marry the little Miss Markle and give her the open sesame that she has to all kinds of treasures that she would not have had without him. So we're going to do a little relationship spread. I'm going to keep it to 2025. Past energy is going to be that start of 2025 when she was writing in the sand and he was filming her allegedly. And it was also full of promise. We're going to look at where things are now between Harry and Meghan and where they're heading for the rest of 2025, because he certainly did not look happy. There are other reasons why he could look miserable. That loose front tooth, maybe, a lost security case, maybe the online safety thing that they're showing up for today. Better not be online, he says, he who spends all day apparently on online platforms seeing what people are saying about him. But anyway, that's not the topic today. Topic today right now is a relationship spread 2025. Oops, doesn't matter. We have the cards in my hand. The fact that things went a bit awry there, I think it's probably symbolic. But I know I'm not cheating. And let's see what's going on. It's tarot. Let's remember, it's for fun and entertainment, and it is all just my opinion. It's speculation. I just read energy here, and disclaimer in the box below. How's the spare doing? Spare in his own marriage, as the Daily Mail so cheerfully told us. Daily Mail enjoying every minute of his misery, because of course they are locked in legal conflict. We have the Six of Swords as our underlying energy in this relationship spread, and that is of course transitioning, moving on, going overseas, leaving a situation that is full of conflict and difficulty and trying to find more peaceful times. And perhaps both of them are finding that it's easier to spend time apart rather than spend time together, and come together for these sort of performative moments. Although, as I say, she seemed to have forgotten about the double-handed claw, the clutching and the back patting and all of that stuff that she was so intent on previously. So Interesting that the transition energy can mean leaving one situation and going into another situation. Who's discarding who? I would like to know. So, recent past, start of 2025, Harry as the Eight of Pentacles, and Meghan has got the Tower in reverse. Harry busy with what he views as work, and he has probably quite a loose association with work, and that's in my opinion. But his life's work, of course, is suing. Litigious little person that he has turned into anyway, and so he was suing newspapers, he's suing the Home Office, he's doing all those kinds of things. That is now his life's work. He told us that, and then he promptly settled the case. He was the only one who could possibly see this thing through, and then whoops, the next day or the day after, settled. But that's his life work. Busy working so hard, 1 hour a week. She, on the other hand, has the Tower in reverse. She'd been through something. Possibly last year was quite traumatic for her, and needing to rebuild. And this year has been all about her and rebuilding herself. And what was traumatic for her last year was things like the Hollywood Reporter, the Dictator in High Heels, all of that stuff. And this year got off to a fairly bad start as well. I think Vanity Fair was the one, knives out for her earlier this year. I can't remember the timeline, but they've all had a go one by one. The glossies have had a go at Meghan Markle, and the sort of trade magazines as well. Tower in reverse, time to rebuild, time to get the show on the road, save that Netflix deal, save everything. It's also a bit of a divorce moment, the Tower, just saying. And maybe they had a wobble. It did look very like they had a very serious wobble in the second half of last year, particularly around September, when Harry did his disappearing act, and he was in New York and then Lesotho and then possibly South Africa and London, and no sign of him around in Montecito for quite a long time, and there was lots of divorce talk. It looks like they might have worked it out. They might have gone for couples therapy or something like that, working on the situation, saving the marriage, Tower in reverse, preventing the divorce. Couldn't have the divorce because still got the Netflix deal. Still need to see that through. That's interesting energy coming through there. That's the start of the year. That's resetting, basically, what's coming through for me. Where is Harry right now? The tearful looking Harry, whose hand was swatted away and don't need you anymore. Well, he still looks like he's the boss of the situation in his own mind anyway, because the Emperor is there, which is very powerful male energy. Doesn't get more powerful in tarot than that. And still wanting to be the alpha in this situation, even though we all see he's not at all. And the 7 years card, the 7 of Pentacles, which is the harvest, the stock taking, the return on investment thing. He had some idea when he went into this relationship, and there are 7 years in now, which for me is a contractual number. I always get that idea energetically when I see that 7 of Pentacles, and I see it frequently when I do these kinds of readings, that they had some kind of deal, contract. It's going to last 7 years, whatever happens, and it's going to elevate him to emperor status. He's going to be raised up a global statesman. He's going to be more powerful than his father, than his brother on the global stage as a result of this marriage and the connections and the deals and all the rest of it. He's still heavily invested in that, which to me is extraordinary. And we saw them, as I say, out and about with the online safety thing today, pretending to care about things like that, when, as I say, the two of them, they have the Sussex squad, more vicious trolls. I think it'd be hard to find online, doing their dirty work for them, allegedly. But there they are. He's strutting his stuff, Mr. Important still. So he might have been tearful yesterday for reasons that had nothing at all to do with the fact that she swatted his hand away and surged inside the auditorium to give her a little silly interview. But nobody was there even to watch, in my opinion. But he's still Mr. Important, and he still believes that he can gain status from this I'm going to use air quotes around the word relationship. Interesting energy. He's still invested in this. That's the Seven of Pentacles. He's still invested in his own ego and status in this relationship. What she has promised him, she can deliver for him, even though the rest of the world doesn't see it like that. Where is she? Is she at the discard phase? I've got the Knight of Swords in reverse, and the Page of Cups in reverse. That's ugly energy. That's rejection energy. Knight of Swords is a very strategic card, very harsh, very quick-witted, very fast-acting, can be cutting when it's in reverse, very cruel, cutting someone out. It can cut off nose to spite face kind of energy, the Knight of Swords, because it's supposedly intelligent and shrewd and all the rest of it, but it can be vicious just for the sake of being nasty. And it's sitting next to the Page of Cups in reverse, which is also quite a nasty little card, because it's being spiteful, it's being cruel, it's not being loving, it's not being loyal, it's not being kind, it's being cold, calculating, vicious. Her energy is brutal. These two cards combined for me as an energy reader are very nasty, very cold, shrewish, ugly energy. He still believes he's Mr. Important, and that the 7 years somehow, if he just sticks at this, somehow he's going to be more important than Pa and Wills. That's, I think, the promise that has been made to him, which he's still heavily invested in. I keep saying it, but it's coming through loudly in this story that's unfolding here. I think there was big trouble last year. I think it was saved by... Stick with this and you'll get the power and the glory that you desire so ardently. What's between them? We've got the Temperance card, which is harmony and peace and healing, but we've also got the Fool in reverse. So there is some level of placating going on, Temperance, and possibly a pretense of being together and being harmonious and lovey-dovey and sort of care about the world and Earth Day and online safety and all the things that they pretend to believe in, Travelist and all that rot. But we know that they don't really, because they don't live their truth, and that is my opinion of them. But we also have the Fool in reverse. So however we are being persuaded with the Temperance card that everything's hunky-dory, the Fool in reverse tells a very different story. It tells that what lies between them has been a big mistake. It has been foolish. That however much they try to pretend to us that they are still a unity, a couple united, there's no fresh start for them. There's no fix for this. It is still a mess. It's still a disaster. And there is awareness that it's a mess and a disaster, despite the promises of power and glory that are still here for Harry, that he still believes in at some level. Foolishly, the Fool in reverse. So it's a very contradictory energy. What you see, Temperance, is not what you get, Fool in reverse, between them. And I think we can all see that discord and that tension between them now. That they can't hide from. I think even the least astute observer now sees what's actually going on in their relationship. That's, of course, my opinion. And let's not forget our Six of Swords, our flying away energy. Let's go overseas, let's disappear for extended periods and possibly even permanently. Getting from that. So where are we heading? Future energy, end of 2025. Harry's got the Hanged Man in reverse, and herself has got the Six of, and it is the Six of Cups in reverse. Sorry, Six of Cups in reverse. Hanged Man in reverse is somebody who liberates himself, cuts himself down from the tree, stops being the victim, the sacrifice, stops being the person who's powerless, in limbo, stuck, hanging there waiting for something. And she has got the Six of Cups in reverse, which is there is no reconciliation, there is no love, there is no harmony. It's a bit of a temperance vibe, the Six of Cups, a minor arcana version. It's in reverse. So this pretense that's going on now, he's at some stage, it looks like, going to actually leave and go, Hanged Man in reverse, and she, and sorry for the angle grinder in the background, she is the one who might regret the leaving, because the Six of Cups in reverse for her is that she had it all. She had the good times. She had it in her, I was going to say in her claws. Let's keep it like that. She had it in her claws and she let it go. There it goes. Because he's tired of being made to look like a fool in public, exactly as she did to him yesterday in New York, by ignoring him, swatting his hand away, striding off as if she was the important one, not a blood prince of the realm. And I don't care about him at this point. He's got what he deserved as far as I can tell, but really it was humiliating, and his face said it yesterday. He knows it, and there's my proof. Hanged Man in reverse. At some stage in the next 6 months or so, he is somehow going to wriggle his way out of this trap that he's got himself into, the double-handed claw, and she's going to regret it. That's the energy that is showing up for me in this reading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.